What's goody, Shellitronnn here. You can call me Shells, and I'm back again with a brand new video. I'm gonna keep it a Bowberry biscuit. 2020 continues to do 2020 things. Now, by now, I'm sure you've already heard the news, but if you haven't, let me see this tweet here from an EM report saying, Panthers outside linebacker Christian Miller, a fourth rounder in 2019, is going to opt out. Source said he's notified the team that he's a high risk opt out. Sounded like it was an emotional decision, but he believes this is what's best for his long-term future. Carolina was supportive. Now, as of right now, I don't have any confirmation, or I haven't seen any confirmation of what exactly makes Christian Miller a high-risk opt-out player. It could be him. It could be someone else in his family. I don't know. But all I know is that this move right here means two things. Number one, this is the second player for the Panthers to opt out due to the coronavirus. First was our undrafted free agent linebacker Jordan Mack out of UVA. He was an interesting prospect, a guy who was really only a run stuffer kind of linebacker. He played linebacker and he played DB for 1 year at UVA and had one single solitary pass defended, meaning he's probably going to be useless in coverage. But the second thing this means is that we have lost a second linebacker, and this is a spot at linebacker where there's the most questions, I think, for the team. Now, we already obviously know that the secondary as a whole, meaning corners and safeties, was not going to get us that great of results for this season alone. But in that way, at least we're sure about that. You know, we know we're going to be moving forward, trying to get these guys to be better in future years. But in the linebacking core, we're looking for someone to step up, right? We're looking for someone to be on the field and show something. But this right here only hurts the linebacker core even more. It's a good thing for Marquise Haynes, I think, and for maybe a couple other guys, but I think this is going to add even more pressure to this linebacker core and a defense that's trying to find its identity. And I think Christian Miller was going to get a chance, or at least a fair shot, as one of these guys that gets a little bit more time in the rotation at the linebacker spot, because we know that Brian Burns may play linebacker, he may play defensive end. We know there's guys who are on 1 year contracts. We know there are guys who are specialists in certain roles, guys who can only play against the run, guys who are only good in coverage. So we have to figure out exactly how we're going to do things. And Christian Miller was a very, very promising prospect. And the biggest reason he fell to the fourth round was because of that injury. I think Christian Miller could have been a third, maybe even a second round pick in 2019. But this is becoming a bigger issue, and it's making me question how many more players are we going to see opt out of the 2020 NFL season for the Carolina Panthers, and how many more players is it going to be on the defensive side of the ball? Because I think we all have a pretty fair idea that the Panthers offense is going to be pretty good. No matter what you think about Teddy Bridgewater, it is very hard to mess up with the number of weapons we have on the outside. I still believe in our tight end core. We know what we got behind the quarterback and C-Mac. So as far as moving the ball and making plays, I have no worries about that. I actually believe in Teddy Bridgewater. He'll be all right. I think he'll be good for us. But on the defensive side of the ball is where we're trying to really test things, really find out what we're going to be having for the next several years. And seeing Christian Miller opt out here, it's going to be really tough. I think we have a good idea of our D-line. The D-line is going to be solid. I actually really do believe in our D-line 100%. I already mentioned the secondary. That's going to be a work in progress. We're throwing these guys in the fire against, I think, 8 of the top 10 to 12 receivers in the league based off our schedule. These guys will be tested. I don't have the highest expectations for our secondary, but I do expect these guys to get a lot of good knowledge and a lot of good PT playing out this season. It's the linebacker core that I really want to see from our backups and our guys who are more rotational and situational. I want to see what they can do, because a lot of those guys are younger and they are kind of untested. Guys like Marquise Haynes, Jordan Cashapp, Andre Smith. You know, we have a lot of guys, JC, Jermaine Carter. We have a lot of guys who are on the roster right now who I don't think we have a real exact idea of what they will do game in and game out. And to lose Christian Miller, a guy who we had, I think, strong enough expectations of getting more playing time this season, we're going to have to see guys step up and step up now, because there is a spot that's open. It might not be a starting spot, But you gotta remember, Tahir Whitehead is only here for this 1 year. If you impress Phil Snow and the rest of the coaching staff enough in the number of games we have in this NFL season, when Tahir Whitehead hits the bricks, we might not need to go ahead and draft a linebacker. We might not have to go into free agency and sign one of these outside linebackers. It could be Jordan Kunashek. It could be Jermaine Carter. It could be Marquise Haynes. It might be Andre Smith. I don't know about that. But the point is, where one door closes and Christian Miller opting out for this 2020 season, another window is opening for these other guys who are rotational pieces, guys who did not get into games very often this past season. These are guys who are hungry, who want to play, and the team is going to need them to perform when they get on the field, because there's not much else that's really going right now. As far as the linebacker core, we are not sure of what we have out there and what we're going to have moving forward for the linebackers. We know about Shaq Thompson, obviously. Brian Burns, is he playing linebacker? Is he playing defensive end? I don't know. You tell me. But there are definitely spots, whether it's a starting role or a strong rotational role for guys to fill in, where Christian Miller is opting out. And I just want to say this right now real quickly. I don't disrespect anyone. I definitely understand if anyone wants to opt out this year. It's not worth your life or the life of a loved one, or even the long-term, I guess, health effects or potential health effects of you or a loved one if you can just opt out of football for 1 year. I think we get so caught up in the death rate and like talking about, well, young guys won't die from it or whatever. They're healthy, they won't die. But there are still some very serious health risks, including respiratory illness and that kind of stuff that comes with coronavirus. And we don't know all the facts just yet. So for a guy like Christian Miller who says he's at high risk, definitely respect the decision, man. You got to decide for yourself, for your family, all that kind of stuff. But this will be either an issue or a blessing for one of these other players who have been in the background, been in the shadows for a minute, looking to get a shot. Because I promise you, there will be opportunities at the linebacker position this season. 100%. So, it's kind of sad to see Christian Miller opt out for the season. Respect it though. We got to see one of these guys. Maybe Jordan Kunashek might be the favorite to step up. I like Jermaine Carter as well. Marquise Haynes is probably a specialist. I don't think we're going to see him getting a lot of playing time in rotation. That's how I feel about it though. What are your thoughts on Christian Miller, the other backup guys? Who do you think is the front runner to get some playing time in rotation or situations with Christian Miller going out? Is it going to be Jermaine Carter, Andre Smith, Jordan Kunashek, Marquise Haynes? If I'm missing anyone else, let me know. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. And you already know what to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Been told y'all I been the man. Been told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.